Rodrigo, I would like to commend you on your success as ASEAN chair at this very critical moment in time and in the association's history, such an important event. And I want to thank you for your incredible hospitality and the show last night, the talent at that show, I assume mostly from the Philippines, was fantastic. Thank you. And you were fantastic, also very much from the Philippines. We couldn't tell the difference.
Hello po mga ka-viral and welcome back to this YouTube channel. Latest update na naman tayo. Tila wala pa ring tigil ang bangayan hinggil sa confidential funds ng OVP ni si Sara Duterte. Inaasahang isusulong ng mga kongresista na pabor na ipa-impeach si VP Sara Duterte ang fourth impeachment complaint sa Office of the Solicitor General. Ang kampo naman ni VP Sara ay may nakahanda na ring plano sakaling maaaprobahan ang impeachment complaint, subalit bago pa ito matutuloy ay dadaan muna ito sa Senado para reviewin kung aprobahan ba nila ito o hindi. Ayon kay VP Sara ay wala siyang nilustay na pera ng confidential funds dahil ipinaglaan ito sa tamang gastusin. Nasa likod di umano niya ang COA or Commission on Audit na cleared ang lahat ng mga documents na kanilang ipinasa. Dagdag pa niya ay nakakapagod na di umano ang galit at pamimersonal ng mga kongresista at mga politiko na kritiko at hinihila siya pababa. Kaya di umano wala siyang balak sagutin ang lahat ng mga aligasyon nila sa kanya sa Kongreso dahil hindi di umano ito tamang lugar upang doon pag-usapan ng confidential funds ng OVP. Sa ngayon ay nakahanda na di umano ang mga taga-suporta ng OVP kabilang na ang sektang INC o Iglesia ni Cristo para sa kaganaping peace rally upang magpakita ng pagsuporta kay VP Sara Duterte.
Unang-una, the presidency of 2022 was mine already. Nanalo na ako sa surveys, lahat ng tao solid na, united na for my candidacy. Pero I gave it away because I felt I had to do some other things other than being President of the Republic of the Philippines. Pangalawa, hindi ako yung nagsabi sa kanila na magbukas sila ng investigation or inquiry in aid of legislation that is more like a political persecution and harassment of OVP personnel. So, wag nila akong i-gaslight into saying na ako ang dahilan ng kaguluhan na ito. Ang kaguluhan na ito ay nagsimula sa sa terrorism nila, sa harassment nila, sa threats nila, sa mga personnel ng Office of the Vice President.
Si Congresswoman Franz Castro, kaibigan po ng Radyo Pilipino. And we greet her. Happy New Year, ma'am. Si Ben Paipon po. Makakausap po ninyo dito sa ating Pulsong Pinoy. Happy New Year po. Welcome.
Happy New Year, Ben, at sa inyong mga taga-subaybay dyan sa Radyo Pilipino.
Kumusta na po kayo, ma'am, Congresswoman? Kumusta na po ang...
Eto, back to, may mga inaasikaso tungkol sa, mga trabaho sa Congress.
Okay, marami pa ko yung mga tatapusin po dyan, ano, ha?
Oo, marami pa.
Now, let us zero in ito po sa pinasimulan po ninyong impeachment case kay Madam Sara Duterte. Attention, itong impeachment case, ay bunga po sa bunsod po ito ng mga investigation na ginawa ng Kongreso tungkol sa confidential fund ni Madam Sara Duterte. Pero tatlong complaints na po ang nandyan sa Kongreso. Pero ano po ba ang status ito, Ma'am Pratt?
Yes, sa ngayon, Ben, yung tatlong impeachment complaint ay nasa office pa ni Secretary General dahil may ina-anticipate pa kasi na isa pang complaint, no? At sa balita natin ay sa Monday daw 'yan ifa-file doon sa office of the SecGen. Kaya apat na yan, na magiging apat na impeachment complaint na yan. At ang maganda rito sa pang-apat na impeachment complaint, kasi yung first three, mga minority block ang nag-endorse, no? Nasa minority block. So itong fourth complaint ay combination ng minority at saka majority, mga 10 to 12 na mga kongresista daw. Kaya inaantabayanan natin, no? Titingnan natin kung ito na ba yung last, no, na mga na impeachment complaint. Kung ito na yung last, baka pwede na si SecGen na mag-ano, no, isubmit niyan kay kay speaker for appropriate action.
Meron po ba kayong mga pangalan na nasilip, na dinig, kung sino-sino ang mga ito na magpa-file ng fourth complaint, Ma'am Fran?
Ben, unfortunately, hindi ako privy, no? Wala pa kaming alam kung sino-sino yan. Basta, ayaw nga sabihin ni SecGen, nung tinatanong ko. Basta sabihin, hintayin nyo na lang by Monday. Basta merong majority dyan. Kasi magandang signal ito kapag merong majority. So, ang ibig sabihin, parang, kumbaga, may nakikita tayong light, no? Na matutuloy itong impeachment na ito. At sana nga mapabilis.
Ang ibig sabihin niya, Ma'am Fran, may basbas.
Well, baka nga baka ganun kasi may majority. Alam mo naman dito sa Kongreso they
Oo.
work according to doon sa mga basbas ng kanilang mga party, may basbas ang leadership, etc. So, we will find out on Monday who are these colleagues na mag-endorse.
But, Ma'am Fran, halimbawa, mag-file na nga po sa Monday itong fourth complaint. No? They file sa Kongreso sa Monday. How long will the Secretary General decide when to pass it to the Senate? Meron po bang tinatawag
Well,
na
yes,
period?
opo. From the Secretary General po, no, kung maipapasa na po yan sa Speaker, so merong 10 days to endorse, para actionan yan, 10 days, session days, na actionan yan, going to the Justice Committee. No, kasi 4 na complaint yan Pero kung mapag-aralan ng Justice Committee, halimbawa i-consolidate agad bago magpulong ang Justice Committee at yun na yung i-endorse ng Justice Committee at pipirmahan na yan ng 1/3, no? At least 1/3 ng numbers of the members of the House of Representatives. Yun na po yung pinakamabilis na proseso diyan po.
How about yung po pinasimulan po ninyong signature campaign, Ma'am Fran, sa mga members
Yes,
of
oo. Pwede pong mag-consolidate. I-consolidate namin 'yon with the consolidated complaint or yung articles of impeachment na pwede naman tong 4 na ito. Alam mo kung ano ba yung mga common dyan, betrayal of public trust. Yung sa amin kasi iisa lang naman yung aming ground 'di ba, yung betrayal of public trust na merong tatlong mga reasons or mga articles, mga dahilan kung bakit inaakusahan namin ng betrayal of public trust si VP Sara Duterte. So, kung mako-consolidate po 'yan, kung maka-consolidate na agad ng ng Committee on Justice ay papaloob naman po kami willing kaming magpaloob basta i-consolidate, maisama yung sa amin dun sa common na impeachment complaint.
Ma'am Fran, yung sinabi po ninyong 10 days, 10 days for the Justice Committee to decide on what to do.
Opo. Pag nakapunta na kay speaker yan, hindi naman yan tumatagal di naman yan dapat napatagalin pa kung mayroon kung sisimula na yung proseso. At ito within 10 days ay magawan na po ito ng ng decision.
10 days pwede nang ipasa sa Senado.
Opo, basta nakakuha na po tayo ng na-consolidate na at nakuha na po yung required number of members. Po.
I see. Okay, okay. Alright po, ma'am. Hintayin na lamang po natin yung kung ano man po ang magiging kapasyahan po ng Kongreso tungkol dito. At hintayin po natin yung pang-apat ng case na isasampa daw po sa Lunes. Ma'am Fran, one last thing. Nabasa na po niyo siguro itong ginawa po ng Teachers Dignity Coalition. Inawag po yung pinirmahan ng Pangulong Marcos na 2025 national budget na unlawful for lumping the budget of the Department of Education to other agencies na meron naman po sariling mga agencies na may budget na po para sa kanila. Ma'am, ano po ba ito? Ano po talaga?
Well, totoo po yun, no? So, kami din merong of the position na dapat itong, halimbawa, itong nilagay nila doon ng mga academy na under ng DILG, under ng National Defense, ng AFP, ng mga academy. Iba po kasi ang mga purpose nito. Pag sinabi po nating budget ng education, ito ay usually sa basic education lang at saka sa mga tertiary level, sa mga state colleges and universities. No, iba po kasi yung purpose ng mga academy no, for national security, sa mga sa mga PNP, mapabuti din yung safety and order and safety, yung mga ganun po. Pero hindi namin ito binibilang po no doon sa sinasabi nating kabuuang education budget. Nakalagay po sa Constitution na dapat may priority pero ang budget, pero matagal na pong binabiolate no ng gobyerno natin yung pag-allocate ng highest budgetary allocation kasi ang pinakamataas mong allocation talaga ay yung sa debt servicing. No? Ang gusto lang po sana natin dito ma-emphasize na dapat yung budget ng education po ay dapat at least 6% po ng gross domestic product. Kasi yun po yung existing international standard na hanggang ngayon ay hindi sinusunod ng gobyerno. Kaya yun po yung panawagan natin dyan. Kasi itong kung priority, totoo namang hindi naman na talaga priority kasi debt servicing ang naging priority. Pero dapat ang standard ay yung international, yung 6% of the GDP.
Correct. Ma'am, kung ang national budget of 2025 is unlawful, unconstitutional, dapat po bang ipatupad ito? Muna?
Well, kasi napirmahan na po ni President, no? It's up for the different sector of our society. Kung tingin nila ay unlawful ito, pwede naman nilang idulog yan sa proper venue like yung Supreme Court, no? Kasi kung question niya ng constitutionality. So, pero kami po, wala pa po kaming ganyang plano. Pinag-aaralan pa po natin, no, yung kabuuang budget. Pero kami, ang posisyon namin ay etong mga, di ba nung una ang posisyon namin, ibalik dapat sa BICAM yan para maayos yung sa PhilHealth, maayos yung pagbabalik ng subsidy at saka yung kung hindi man subsidy sa PhilHealth, dagdagan yung mga hospitals natin, pondo ng hospitals. Tapos ganun din yung sa DepEd, tsaka sa mga SUC, yung mga tinanggal ng BICAM. Kaya gusto natin talaga na ibalik yan sa BICAM. Pero wala na po tayong magagawa, pinirmahan na ni Presidente. So mag-aantay na lang po tayo ng mga augmentation or savings, no, na para mapunan yung mga tinanggal o yung binawas na budget. So yun na lang po yung pwedeng magawa dyan, ano, doon sa budget kasi wala naman sa mandato ng presidente yung baguhin yung mga amount na inilagay doon sa budget na tinapos ng Kongreso. Kaya yun na lang po yung magagawa natin, bantayan po na magkaroon ng budget so that mapunan po yung mga pangangailangan ng iba pa.
Alright. Okay, ma'am, thank you very much for your time. Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
Thank you, Ben, at sa inyong mga taga-subaybay at sa inyong radio station po.
Alright.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. si Congresswoman Franz Castro ng ACT Party List po, ACT Teachers Party List. Ang kausap po natin dito at napag-usapan po namin, may kaugnayan po dito sa budget at siyempre po sa impeachment case ni Madam Sara Duterte. Nakatakdang mag-file daw po ang pang-apat na reklamo laban po kay Madam Sara itong darating na Lunes. So, pagka natanggap ng Kongreso yan, diretso na po sa Justice Committee. The Justice Committee will have 10 days to resolve the case. At kapag after 10 days, ayan, papasa na po sa Senado. Problema po dito ngayon, mga kababayan, will the senators, incumbent senators, at yun na po yung mga kumakandidato ngayon, will the incumbent senators be objective? Be objective in their decision regarding the impeachment case of Madam Sara, o pairalin po ang camaraderie, friendship, political affiliation, what? So ito na lang, ito po ang aabatan po natin at aantabayanan po natin, mga babayan. The impeachment is purely political in nature. Pero kung mapansin po ninyo, mga kababayan, itong impeachment na inihain laban po kay Madam Sara Duterte has something to do with the expenditure of public funds. Ito masakit po dito, mga kababayan. May nalustay na pera ng bayan ng Office of the Vice President. So this is not entirely political in nature na dapat pong tignan ng mga kasamahan po niya sa Senado, mga kababayan. Hindi po pampolitika lamang ito. Pero ito po ay pag-aalaga, pagbabantay sa paggastos ng pera ng bayan. Ito po ang kahulugan ng impeachment case na isinampa laban po kay Madam Sara Duterte. Sana ho, ito po ay isaalang-alang ng mga senadores kung sakasakali po makarating na sa kanila ang impeachment case laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Pagbabalik po ang Pulsong Pinoy pagkatapos po ng ilang mga paalala.
Usapan dito, and unless we are aware of these gaps and violations, the legal regime cannot and will not change for the better. Today, I'd like to go through some of these violations as mentioned by Congressman Acop. The SDO has the sole mandate to disburse the CF, the confidential funds, and to prepare and submit the liquidation reports of cash advances with the relevant supporting documentation as prescribed under the joint circular. Siya lamang. On the other hand, a security officer is a personnel who has been officially designated as such to have access to security information. Klaro po ang kani-kanilang mga responsibilidad. Ang SDO po ang sa disbursement o ang sa pagbibigay ng pera. Ang SO naman, yung security officer naman, ay binibigyan lamang ng access sa impormasyon. To elaborate and para po sa kaalaman ng lahat, under the joint circular, the SDO is personally tasked with the disbursement and liquidation of confidential funds. Ang SDO ang tagabigay ng pera, siya lang under the joint circular. Natural lang po ito dahil ang SDO ang isa sa mga accountable officers or those public officers personally accountable when something goes wrong with respect to the utilization or disbursement of these confidential funds. And this is precisely the reason why kinakailangan may fidelity bond ang SDO. The fidelity bond is there so that if anything happens to the funds while it is in the custody of the SDO, sigurado na may maibabalik pa rin na pondo to the government through the bond and for the security of the taxpayers. Yung head of agency is also personally tasked to oversee the agency-wide use and disposition of confidential funds. Siya rin ang nag-a-appoint ng SDO. Because of the functions that burden the head of agency, the head of agency is also an accountable officer. Sa makatuwid, yung SDO po yung inaatasan ng batas natin na humawak at siguraduhin mapunta ang confidential funds sa naaayon na confidential expenses allowed under the Joint Circular. Hindi niya pwedeng i-delegate ang custody ng confidential funds dahil siya ang mananagot rito. Hindi niya pwedeng iutos sa iba. Hindi pwedeng ibigay sa security officer. In the case of SDO Edward Fajardo of the DepEd, while he has admitted to having encashed the 3 checks amounting to 37.5 million pesos each, he has also claimed that he did not know or had no way of knowing how the funds were to be utilized after handing them over to the designated security officer. Mr. Fajardo stated that since it was Colonel Nolasco who is the expert in confidential operations, it was Colonel Nolasco who supposedly made the disbursements of the confidential funds in different localities. It begs the question, sino po ba ang totoong special dispersing officer? Kung ang nag-iisang taong pinagdi-disperse ng SDO ay si Colonel Nolasco, kung pagka-encash ng cheque ay agara naman itong inaabot sa security officer. Whatever happened to Mr. Fajardo being an accountable officer under the Joint Circular? Kung wala siyang slightest idea kung saan napupunta o kanino ibinibigay ang confidential funds? Is his role in this entire process simply ministerial? We beg to disagree. Mr. Fajardo is not just a simple bagman that would withdraw the funds and turn over to the security officer. His role, as material as it is, carries with it discretion. Discretion to ensure the accuracy of the data in the liquidation reports and to be accountable for the disbursements from the cash advances of confidential funds. But Mr. Fajardo admitted that he merely relied on the documents evidencing payments submitted by the security officer. His failure to exercise the standard care and diligence required of and inherent in his function is the height of irresponsibility and is in clear violation of his mandate under the Joint Circular. At bakit po nangyari ito? Dahil ito raw ang sabi ng head of agency ng DepEd doon na si VP Sara, na ibigay ang pera sa security officer. Same case po tayo with SDO Gina Acosta of the OVP. Ms. Acosta also admitted that the utilization and payment of the confidential funds involves her handing over the money to a security officer per the instruction of no less than head of the agency, Vice President Duterte. SDO Acosta also supposedly never knew where the security officer took or expended the confidential funds. She has only testified on the basis of the information supposedly fed to her, without certainty as to who are the actual recipients or payees of the confidential funds, whether they are even actual persons. In the past hearings, it has always been made to appear that Ms. Acosta for OVP and Mr. Fajardo for DepEd would have the most knowledge as the SDOs of the confidential funds. And we have always been made to believe that it would be the two of them who would be able to shed light on the discrepancies flagged by the COA and the other erroneous and false matters po na didiscover po namin through these hearings. Unfortunately, the SDOs themselves violated their own accountability, their own certifications in the liquidation report, with them disclaiming knowledge kung saan or kanino ba talaga pumunta ang bawat sentimo ng confidential funds. They violated a particular responsibility under item 4.15.1 of the Joint Circular, where they are supposed to certify at least two things: na sila ang accountable for the disbursements of confidential funds and that the expenses were incurred in connection with the agency's confidential activities. How can they faithfully attest to these confidential funds sa ibang tao or as evidenced by the acknowledgement receipts recorded for that date? Hindi ka paniwala for one person designated as the SDO to have made disbursements in Malolos, Bulacan, Danao, Cebu, San Francisco, Agusan del Sur, Makati City, Negros Occidental, Negros Oriental, and Davao City, all in one receipts of the same date, but varied widely in terms of the localities where the payments were made. Plotting these on the Philippine map, within a single day on March 15, 2023, there were 26 disbursements which were made across 24 localities from Batanes to Davao del Sur, with total confidential expenses amounting to 1,870,000 pesos. On the 9th of March 2023, the DepEd, supposedly through its SDO, was able to make 20 disbursements over 18 localities all over the Philippines, with disbursements of confidential funds amounting to more than 1,400,000 pesos. And lastly, on February 25, 2023, there were 21 disbursements across 18 localities all over the country amounting to almost 1,400,000 pesos. All three examples reinforce our point that no amount of imagination can make us believe that these disbursements were made to these people at these locations and at these dates. It is physically impossible. Even assuming that the DepEd has its satellite offices and field personnel all over the country, we should always go back to the joint circular as our Bible. The function of disbursing and of being accountable for the cash advances of the confidential funds is lodged with the SDO and the SDO alone. Delegating this function to any other officer or employee would run counter to the express guidelines of the joint circular and the safeguards that it entails. Unsurprisingly, the same discrepancies have been observed in the OVP acknowledgement receipts, particularly for the payouts and disbursements for the fourth quarter of 2022. For everyone's recollection, this period refers to the 11 days when the OVP was able to use up 125 million pesos worth of confidential funds. And markedly, there were at least 3 days out of those 11 days that the payouts reached 100 recipients. For instance, noon pong December 23, 2022, based on the records and the AR submitted by the OVP to the COA, SDO Gina Acosta was able to disburse more than 15 million pesos to 103 distinct individuals for various purposes. Tila po ba naka-hyperdrive na ang naging pag-disburse ni SDO Acosta para siguruhing ma-expend ang allocated confidential funds sa OVP sa mga nalalabing araw ng 2022. Notably, the following day or Christmas Eve of 2022, these disbursements continued based on the 40 acknowledgement receipts from the OVP on this date. It spent a total of 5,429,000 pesos on supposed confidential activities. Grabe talaga itong OVP non-stop kahit magpapasko na. Whoever disbursed more than 5 billion pesos truly embodied the spirit of generosity during the holidays. If it was actually true, this amount was disbursed for confidential expenses.